is not the limitation that you think it is. Who doesn't look much like a corporate accountant anymore?
I'm an electric lampshade.
There we go.
Hey, Doug, how are you this afternoon? Jeff in Las
Good.
Vegas.
Good, Jeffrey. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I'm telling you, who could not have nothing but admiration for you after watching this documentary?
Oh, thank you very much.
I mean, I just
really
admire.
appreciate that.
I just admire everything you did in this film, and thank you for talking to me today. And you know, how does a 60-year-old go from a corporate accountant to pursuing pop stardom? I mean, retirement wasn't good enough for you?
Well, it's an excellent question. Well, so before I retired, I had a supervisor who I worked for a long time, and he had a retirement party, and I knew I was going to have to speak. So I wanted to do something completely different. Most retirement parties are pretty boring affairs. And so I decided, spur of the moment, to make a music video. And I had never done that before, and never sung before, never danced before, and started working on it with 4 colleagues. And John Clayton Doyle was brought on as our choreographer. I didn't know I was going to turn out. It was a complete surprise to everybody, and got a standing ovation, and it was amazing. And so I caught the bug, shall we say. And so John and I kept working together, and he said, well, what are we going to do next? And I said, I'm not really sure. What do you think? And he said, how about a short film? Well, the short film that we had originally envisioned back in 2015 ended up being what you see today, which is I'm an Electric Lampshade. It just grew organically over the course of 4 years of filming and multiple, editing meetings. And so here we are. And, Jeffrey, I just thought, if I'm going to go off into retirement and have some fun, what better to do than something completely out of my comfort zone, which is make a movie.
But you've had this passion somewhere deep inside you, haven't you? It just didn't come about. I mean, like Jonathan Demme's Talking Heads concert stopped making sense. It had a huge impact on me when I first saw it. But yeah, you have a lot of influences I noticed throughout the documentary. So was this performer inside you screaming to get out? Because that's what it looks like.
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, I've loved music all my life, and I've loved different genres of music. Stop Making Sense really had an impact on me. I saw them perform that twice live. And then, of course, I've watched the movie probably at least 100 times. And then my wife, Gina, brought home Live at Bucharest by Michael Jackson one time, and I started watching it, and I got completely hooked. And yeah, but the dream of performing has always been there, but I never thought it would ever be self-realized until probably about the 300th time I was watching Michael Jackson's Live at Bucharest. Gina just turned to me and said, why not, instead of continuing to watch this, why don't you just go do it? And I said, oh, come on. And she's like, no, just go do it. And I said, all right, well, so I did it.
But you had no idea that your journey would take you to the Philippines? I mean, no. Your dream that's just amazing that if you're going to pursue your dream, where that's going to take you. And I thought that was, I think you went to the Philippines to learn dance, correct?
Yeah, well, we went to the Philippines to film me performing and learning how to perform at St. Andre's finishing school. To be honest with you, most of my learning for singing and dancing and performing was done here in the US. St. Andre's is one of the, shall we say, narrative parts of the film. But I did actually work with Cesar Valentino, who plays St. Andre. He was one of my dance coaches. But yeah, I mean, John Clayton Doyle came up with the idea to have Doug go to a far out place to learn to be a performer. And so Manila came to mind, and that's where we ended up going. It ended up being a great place to film, and we had a great cast of characters that were in the film. it was a fantastic experience.
But it wasn't enough for you just to perform. I mean, performing in drag, performing in the incredible makeup and costumes. I mean, you put on an incredible performance visually as well. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just, it's almost this performance art that you do. And that's what really struck me, because I thought, okay, here's a guy who wants to be a performer. No, you just go the extra mile and just have, it attacks all your senses.
Yeah, exactly. That was what, I mean, the idea to perform in drag admittedly was mine originally. I had it with my first vocal instructor, Jillian, and I turned to her one day and said, you know what'd be really cool is if I performed a song in drag. And she was like, oh, I love it. You should do it. So it became part of the film. John knew it. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah, a lot of yes people, Doug.
yeah, well, you know, Jeffrey, I mean, I had been a button-up corporate accountant all my life. And when I finally got a chance to kind of break out of the mold, even when I was doing that first music video, because that's really when I shaved my head and I got earrings and all that kind of stuff. And I got a lot of compliments for it. And so I said, well, if I'm going to take this, I'm not going to do it half-heartedly. I'm going to go all the way. Let's just make this an experience to remember. Let's make this a journey to remember, and let's go completely all out.
Well, you know, you're absolutely an inspiration to others to go for it, especially at your age. You know, I guess the motto is it's never too late.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And if this doesn't work out for you, Doug, I mean, your voice is amazing, not only as a singer, but you have a voice for movie trailers, for commercials, for animated features. Your voice is just remarkable.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, I kind of got my first taste for that when I was on the radio for about 7 years as a community DJ at a local radio station, and so and I got a lot of compliments on my voice. You know, I had people walking up to me in restaurants that overheard me and saying, you should do voiceovers, you should do commercials, you know, you should be on the radio. And I was like, well, I guess I have a good voice. So
get the right agent, you'll be doing Pixar films before you know it.
Yeah, there you go. I like it. I love it.
Man, congratulations on a great journey and a great documentary. And I appreciate you talking to me today. And come visit us in Las Vegas. We'd love to have you.
All right, that sounds great. Thank you very much.